You know, we always think of water as this life-giving force, right? But inside the walls of our homes, it can be something else entirely. A hidden, silent threat that moves way faster and causes more damage than you could even imagine. So, okay, let's dive into this.
Okay, let me ask you something. What's the number one, most common, most costly disaster your home can face? Seriously, think about it for a sec. What's the first thing that pops into your head? Go on, get a picture in your mind.
Yeah, it's not fire, it's not wind, it's water. I know, right? It's kind of surprising. But believe it or not, more homes are damaged by water than by any other single cause. It's this quiet catastrophe, you know? It happens from burst pipes, leaky roofs, rising floodwaters, and almost always when we least expect it.
All right, so today we're going to pull back the curtain on this silent destroyer. We're going to look at exactly how water damage unfolds, what the pros do to stop it in its tracks, and, this is the most important part, what you can do to prevent it from ever happening in the first place. Now, to really get a handle on this threat, I think we need to see it in action. So we're going to zoom in on a city that literally lives and breathes water every single day, Norfolk, Virginia. It's the perfect case study, you'll see why. I mean, Norfolk is basically a perfect storm of risk factors. First off, it's sitting at sea level, which makes it super vulnerable to all kinds of flooding. Then you add in aging, failure-prone pipes, clay soil that just loves to hold on to water. Oh, and that coastal humidity? It's like a turbocharger for mold growth. It's just a powerful example of how geography and infrastructure can really stack the deck against a homeowner.
Here's the thing you have to understand. The second water gets in, a clock starts ticking. And I'm not talking about a slow process. No way. This is a flat-out race against time, and we're not measuring it in weeks or days. We're talking hours.
And that brings us to the most critical number you need to remember: 24 to 48 hours. That's it. That is your window before mold really starts to take hold and colonize. And in a super humid place like Norfolk, that clock is ticking even faster. Every single minute you wait, the damage is it's multiplying exponentially.
So let's walk through this timeline, because it shows just how crazy fast the damage builds. We're talking minutes, and water has already spread, saturating your drywall, your insulation, your flooring. Hit the 24-hour mark, and boom, mold and mildew growth has already begun. Your drywall starts to swell and literally crumble. 48 hours in, now your wood framing is starting to warp. Metal stuff like nails and pipes, they're starting to corrode. And if you wait a week, well, now you're looking at severe structural damage and some pretty serious contamination risks. It's just a devastating chain reaction.
Okay, but here's the good news. I know that all sounds terrifying, but while the problem is incredibly fast and destructive, the solution is actually really methodical and scientific. The pros, they have a playbook for this exact crisis. It's all designed to stop that ticking clock and start reversing the damage.
And it all starts with one thing: speed. A professional emergency response crew can be at your door in 60 minutes or less. That right there, that immediate action, is the single most critical step to breaking that vicious cycle of destruction we just walked through.
So the first thing the pros do when they arrive is identify the enemy. Not all water is the same, you see. Is it category 1, clean water from a supply line? Or is it all the way to category 3, which is grossly contaminated water from sewage or a flood? This is so important because you absolutely cannot treat all water the same. The category determines the health risks and dictates the entire game plan for cleanup and sanitization.
All right, the next key concept you got to know is something called structural drying. The best way to think about it is like treating a deep wound, right? You can't just slap a bandage on the surface and call it a day. You have to make sure it's dry all the way through, deep inside. So professionals use these massive, powerful air movers and dehumidifiers to literally pull moisture out of the very bones of the house. We're talking the wood framing, the subfloors, even the concrete.
So the whole professional process really breaks down into 3 clear steps. Step 1, emergency water extraction. They bring in industrial pumps and vacuums to get rid of all that standing water. Step 2 is the big one, structural drying and sanitization. This is where those air movers and dehumidifiers run non-stop, sometimes for days, while they're also applying antimicrobial solutions to kill any mold. And finally, step 3, restoration and rebuild. This is where they replace everything that was damaged, the drywall, the flooring, to get your home back to its pre-loss condition.
Okay, so now we know the threat and we know the cure. Let's talk about the most powerful tool in your arsenal: prevention. A few simple, proactive steps can protect your home and maybe save you from ever having to make that frantic emergency call in the first place.
Think of this as your homework. And it's all simple stuff, really. Cleaning your gutters twice a year, that can prevent a massive roof leak. Checking your washing machine hoses and replacing them every 5 years? A $10 hose can prevent a 1,000-gallon flood. That's a good trade. Testing your sump pump before the rainy season hits is absolutely crucial. Even just keeping an eye on your water bill for any weird spikes can tip you off to a hidden leak. Every single one of these little actions is a massive line of defense against water damage.
And really, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The time to prepare for an emergency is before it happens. Preparation is everything. Honestly, understanding the risk and just taking these small steps to deal with it, it's probably the single best investment you can make in your home's safety, and in your own peace of mind for that matter.
So I'm going to leave you with one last question to think about. You know where your fire extinguisher is, right? Of course you do. But do you know where your main water shutoff is? Because in a water emergency, being able to find that valve and turn it off in seconds, literally seconds, could be the difference between a small mess you can clean up with a mop and a full-blown catastrophic disaster. So, do you know where yours is?